Hey, welcome back. It's the Fantasy Football Avengers on your set once again. And we got a special guest here with us today, Mr. Jason Aponte. How are you doing, sir? How are you doing?
I'm vibing right now. It's a big vibe right now. Yankees in the ALCS, 49ers smoking on a Seattle pack. It's a beautiful time to be alive right now.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. We got a lot we're going to go over on this show today. We're going to talk about that Thursday night football. Lovely Thursday night football game. We're going to talk about that. We're going to get into the some starts and sits of the week. We're going to do some Q&A. We're going to call out shots on players this weekend. Um, of course, our unofficial fifth member of the group, Garfield, has a kicker this week for us, and we're going to go over some sleepers. But before all that, let's get to everybody's favorite part of the show, that intro. Let's get this party started.
You're now about to witness the strength of fantasy football knowledge.
Welcome to the Fantasy Football Avengers Podcast, starring Kyle Shanahan's Boulevard, GQ, and GI16. And now, here's the boys.
Hey, we are back. We are back. And we have Mr. Jason Aponte with us today. 49ers beat writer, SB Nation writer. So, without further ado, let's get into why we are here. 49ers with the ass whooping of the Seattle Seahawks. Oh my, have the tides have turned. I remember for years it was Russell Wilson doing to us what Brock Purdy is now doing to the Seattle Seahawks. And I love it. And I love it. I got a couple Seahawks fans that are friends, and I make sure after every game I let them know Brock Purdy is your daddy. So
Yeah,
what do we see from that from Thursday night football that we want to see more of going forward?
just the red zone offense, and it felt like this was the week for everything to kind of fall into place, and it felt like the levee was about to break. And I keep standing on it because all week I've been preaching this is a Debo Samuel breakout game. And it's not even necessarily a breakout. It's just people just forget how important Debo is to this team, how he sparks this team, how he sends them into a different spot. You literally have the 76-yard touchdown, and then you get a fumble on the entire team is energized when Debo plays well. And when you're converting in the red zone that way, you're going to end up with 36 points. Shout out to Matthew Wright. It's almost like you could pick up a kicker off the street and have him do good. But hey, I'm gonna let that slide. Ariel, don't, not too much on the kicker, not too much on the kicker. But again, the 49ers they were on the cusp of this happening. And I could still argue, especially after watching the All 22, I could still say they still haven't put it all the way together in the red zone offensively, and they're still looking to break out of that. A little of that has to do with Christian McCaffrey, but more than anything, you have enough. Debo Samuel, George Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, most teams would kill for that. And the 49ers had a step in the right direction in terms of that. And it's also really nice to break the narrative about Mike McDonald and the vaunted defensive coordinator he was with the Baltimore Ravens. Oh, he knows how to stop. You're not bringing Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton. You're not bringing any of those guys over. So I'm happy to disparage that narrative as well too. Scheme is good and all, but if you don't have the personnel to dictate it, I don't care. And that's what I've never been worried about with the Seahawks. But yeah, if you would have told a 49ers fan from 2012 there's going to be a time where we own the Seahawks, they probably would tell you that we're crazy. But we own the Seahawks, and it's a beautiful feeling.
Beautiful feeling. It's a beautiful day. Now we could just continue what we're doing into the NFC West, what we've been doing over the last few years to the NFC West for the rest of the year. I'd be fine. I'd be perfectly happy with a 4-2 record in the NFC West. GI, what you got for me?
I was happy about the rookies. All the
Oh yeah.
rookies showing up. Patrick Taylor, veteran, showing up. It was a great day for us. everybody stepped up that needed to step up when injuries happened, and it was just nobody missed a beat at all. Nobody missed a beat. Garendo with that 70, was it a 70 yarder he ran for?
76.
76 yarder. So we had 270-yard plays in one game.
Where he claims that he slid, but he got caught. He got caught.
Yeah. And somebody posted today that Debo is the first person in NFL history to do 20 touchdowns receiving and 20 touchdowns rushing.
Yep.
Nice.
You can't be happier than like Jason said. You can't be happier right now. It's a wonderful day. Wonderful day.
And like I told you earlier, we need to go ahead and get Debo a ring so that stat can follow him into the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. Well, he'll probably have his jersey already there because when I went last year to the Hall of Fame, Purdy's jersey's already hanging, and he only played about 20-something games.
The fact that Brock Purdy is actually on pace for 4,600 yards if he plays all 17 games, that's crazy. Like, if you would have told me in 2012 that we'd have a 4,000-yard passer and a Pro Bowl passer, I would look at you crazy. Like, yeah,
we have a Pro Bowl.
Brock is
Pro
awesome.
Bowl running back too, almost, right?
Yeah.
If Jordan Mason keeps up his stats, he'll be a Pro Bowl running back.
Yeah. But I feel like that's going to get hampered because I feel like CMC is going to come back. He's gonna cut into Mason's carries pretty much, with obvious reasons. It's CMC. If CMC's healthy enough to be on the field, he needs to be on the field.
I think he should go 50-50, but that's just my opinion. Jason?
I think Jordan Mason is absolutely going to eat into any sort of workload for Christian McCaffrey. I think I've been very vocal about saying that Jordan Mason is the most vital weapon for the 49ers right now. And what that means is that I don't mean that he's the best. I mean, if Jordan Mason isn't there to operate this offense and run the football the way that this team is in trouble, because no quarterback should be dropping back 40, 50 times in a row, right? Jordan Mason is literally he's the Band-Aid to get to Christian McCaffrey. And even when McCaffrey comes back, it can't just be all McCaffrey because of the Achilles. It has to still be Mason. But Mason, if this team is not able to run the football, this is a huge issue. And it got very scary in that game when you see Mason go down, because I love Isaac Garendo. I called the 49ers drafting him. Like, I literally saw him at the combine, and I'm like, there's no way Kyle Shanahan could keep his hands away from drafting this guy. But he hasn't exactly been reliable. And I think what can happen and his potential is different than what is the reality right now. So that's why, like, I'm glad Ariel brought it up. Patrick Taylor getting run is no surprise because he's been in this league. He's been a veteran. So it's just, if Jordan Mason's gone and there is no Christian McCaffrey, let's just operate under the idea that Christian McCaffrey's not going to play a game this year. You have to be safe with Jordan Mason. You have to be able to keep him going. You have to keep him upright, because no matter what we say, we thought Jordan Mason was going to be buried because Elijah Mitchell was going to be around. Well, he's out for the year. Christian McCaffrey still hasn't played. Jordan Mason has found money, but now he is the most vital weapon to the 49ers because things get left when you're not able to run the football in this offense. It's not even really up for debate at this point.
I'm to the point where we should have put the pressure on Debo like we did in 2020, right? When he was doing all the running. Or it was one of those years where Debo did all the running. We can't put all that pressure back on him at all. Yeah. Some, not all.
In a perfect world for me, when CMC does come back, we kind of operate like how Detroit operates, with CMC playing the Gibbs role and Mason playing the
Monty role.
Yeah. So that way you keep them both fresh. You keep them both not getting as many hits per game, but if the offense can run smoothly that way for the rest of the year, and we don't miss any production, because I just don't want us to go back to giving Christian McCaffrey 37,000 touches a game. At least not until he's 100%
I could see
healthy.
them. I could see them both on the field where Mason's running the ball and CMC's playing wide receiver.
And I think that's a great way to do that. In the same way, like everyone gets Christian McCaffrey receptions. Can we curse on here, or like we got to?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
Everybody gets Christian McCaffrey's receptions fucked up in the game because they think that that's a check down. It's not a check down. It is me identifying that Christian McCaffrey is going to be up against one of your linebackers, so the ball comes out quicker because he's going to win his route. That's not a check down, right? So there's a way to still take advantage of that matchup while not tipping your hand to what's happening right there on the field. I think when Debo's in the backfield, it's pretty apparent what's about to happen. Now, I did like that in this game, the 49ers ran play action with Debo behind them. Good. Show them something different because for the large part, when Debo's back there, he's getting the football and teams can key into that. But there's a way to maximize Christian McCaffrey's impact without putting him in between the tackles and getting hit and still being able to keep him on the field. I think that's the way you do it. And if we're looking forward to maximizing him for years to come, this has to be the way, is using him a little bit more in space, out wide. And if he wanted to be a receiver any day of the week, he could. That's how good he is. Then use him that way and keep him fresh if we're going to have him for the foreseeable future, especially after this extension.
Agreed. 100% agreed. Read that Ricky Sent is coming back to practice this week to start working on his debut album, Get Six or Die Trying. So what are we expecting from Ricky Pearsall for the rest of the year?
That's so good. All right, so it's twofold, right? Everyone is excited about this rookie class. You got a starter in Pooney. You see what happens with Malik, and you see what happens with Renardo Green in this game. Everything looks good. The early returns on this rookie class is probably the best during the Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch era. And we're only 6 weeks in. But if Jacob Cowing, who has been around the team longer, is always off, if you listen to Kyle Shanahan, not close to grasping the offense, I have a hard time believing that Ricky Pearsall is going to just jump onto the field. And to put it, at least a little bit simpler, who's he going to take off the field? Because Juwan Jennings is hooping, right? Like, he didn't go crazy on Thursday. Debo's not coming off the field. Ayuk's not coming off the field. And they don't run 3 receiver sets. I see Ariel. Go ahead.
That's all I have to say. Just get rid of Bell.
Bell? But Bell's not seeing the field. What I'm saying is, in terms of 3 receiver sets, the 49ers are still the 49ers are still at the bottom of the league in 3 receiver sets, and he's not supplanting Juwan Jennings anytime soon. And how could you say that? So it's crazy to think that the 49ers have gotten these rave reviews about their draft class, and their first round pick hasn't even taken a snap. So is there a world where I think Kyle Shanahan tries to force Ricky Pearsall onto the field? I don't. But this wide receiver group is deeper than it's ever been. And now, if God forbid there's an injury to a Debo, Ayuk, or Juwan Jennings, you feel better because of who this is. But I don't expect much off the rip, like with Ricky Pearsall. I would like to. I'd hope so. And I'd love to see him and Cowan get burned. It's just over who, and it would be nobody, and then the personnel grouping. It's just, it's hard.
I would just like to see just a couple snaps a game. Don't, you ain't necessarily got to put them over somebody. Just especially Cowing. I would just like to see Cowing just get like 3 or 4 snaps. Let him run a go route and see if Purdy can hit him with the go route. Just something. Like, hopefully we never see, like Ariel said, hopefully we never see Ronnie Bell on the field again. Yeah. Hopefully, unless he's doing some special team shit, in which I don't want him returning special team kicks either, because he has a propensity of fumbling the ball, like another number 10 who used to return kicks.
Number 10 is it's just cursed. It's just cursed, man. Don't let anybody wear number 10 anymore ever again, man.
That's something me and my boys in the chat talk about all the time. Shout out to my boy Dion. He's the first one that really mentioned to me how cursed number 10 is. And I'm like, yeah, you know what?
Give that number to the owner.
What you say, Gi?
Give that number to the owner at least. Somebody can wear that.
Put it in the ring of put it in the ring of honor. Something. Just don't let anybody wear it. I don't care if we traded for Justin Jefferson and Justin Jefferson said he wants to wear number 10. Don't let him wear number 10, please. No one.
Please don't.
No one.
Please don't. That we should have retired number 10 when Jimmy Garoppolo left.
Oh.
But you know what's funny? What I found out the other day, Kendrick Bourne wore number 10 in his rookie year. Quickly got rid of it once we got Jimmy.
Yeah. Hey, look, we had some laughs with Jimmy. We had some good times. Like I'm not here to, I don't poo-poo my ex, right? If my ex moves on, I secretly don't want you to do better when you leave, but I'm not going to say nothing crazy about my ex. Jimmy, we had some laughs. We had a great time, but I don't wish bad on you. I just don't want you to do better than what you've done with us. And I don't think he will. But yeah, Jimmy did fine with number 10. He did all right.
Jimmy's a Ram now, so I'm wishing bad on Jimmy. I'm sorry.
Hey, Jimmy's not going to play no games. Don't trip. Don't worry about it.
He may, because Stafford is injury prone, so Jimmy may have to come in and play a couple games.
Or if he gets traded to Miami.
I don't think Miami's gonna make that trade. They really believe that Tua's coming back. Which I hope that Tua does come back for fantasy football purposes.
Oh God, we're all dying out right here. Well, I guess the best fantasy advice I can give for anybody who's watching, if you're worried about, go trade for Miami players. Go see what the Tyreek Hill manager wants. Go see what Devon Achane, the manager, wants, because they're fed up, and they drafted Tyreek Hill in the first round. They're fed up. You might be able to get him for a steal. And if Tua comes back, man, you are lit down the stretch. So yeah, I would send trade offers for Waddle, Hill, Devon Achane, even Raheem Mostert.
Yeah. I am going down with the ship this year. I have BA still starting. I have Achane still starting, and I have Hill in some leagues still starting. I'm gonna go down with the ship. Fuck it.
I started Deontay Johnson over Tyreek Hill the last 2 weeks, and I feel perfectly at peace with that decision.
Hey,
and I could have never seen that.
Good. It happens. It happens. If you've been playing long enough, and you know Tua, it's a risk drafting Tyreek Hill because of something like this that could happen. Now, I was saying before that where Miami fucked up was they let Mike White go. Mike White could have actually kept that offense afloat. He's way better than Skylar Thompson for that offense, and he's way better than Snoop Huntley for that offense. The offense is it runs off of quick processing. That's what Mike White was really good at. Quick processing. I don't know what logic what's his name again?
Daniels.
Yeah, McDaniels. I call him Logic because he looks like Coach the Logic. Rapper Logic. Yeah, I don't know what he was doing with that thought process, thinking that you can make Skylar the number 2 behind Tua. No, that was terrible thinking.
Travis Kelce, little brother.
Who?
Travis Kelce, little brother.
Yeah, like that was not good thinking at all. Like he should have kept Mike White, because anytime we ever seen Mike White step on the field, he did good things when he played for the Jets. Like he put up really good fantasy numbers. And I said when I seen him in Miami, I said, if anything happens to Tua, this guy is gonna cook for you. But it is what it is. They're stuck with what they're stuck with.
Just remember, Skylar was drafted earlier than Brock Purdy.
Yep, like a couple picks before Brock Purdy.
Yeah, just remember that.
I think about that every time Tua gets hurt. I think about that. I'm like, I'm pretty sure McDaniels would have loved Brock Purdy on his team right now.
Oh yeah.
Brock Purdy will probably be starting over Tua.
And they're both Big 12 quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Iowa
I
State
just
and Kansas State.
I just don't see it with Skyler. The couple times I've seen him on the field, he does not look like he needs to be anywhere near a starting lineup in an NFL roster. If you can't cook with that offense, then yeah, you don't need to be in there. You need to be somewhere in the UFL playing for the Birmingham Stallions.
I'm a Toronto Argonauts fan. Just for the record too. Like when we're talking about
that's CFL, Jason. That's CFL.
whatever. It's all ball. Whatever. At the same time,
Yeah,
same thing.
I'm a what's it? I'm a Washington, whatever they are in the UFL.
Oh, well. Can we all agree that Washington football team was better, like infinitely than Commanders? Like they should just stuck with that. Like I got used to Washington football team. Washington football team kind of goes hard. Washington Commanders doesn't make any sense.
I live in the area and I work in DC, and even all the fans tell me they should have just stayed with the WFT.
Yo, WFT is crazy because then you can like run WTF is wrong with the WFT. It's just like it all just worked. Like I'll never understand it. That's a huge fumbling of what it could have been.
I actually like Commanders only because it's so many jokes that can go with that. The commies, the Commodores, the condoms, the Cobra Commanders. Like it's just so many jokes that can go with that. Like every week, it's a brand new Washington Commodore 64s. It's just a new joke every week. But you should honestly, they should go back to their old name.
I'm gonna find you the list, Jason, and I'm gonna text it to you that they had on the news on a nightly basis of who they should name.
Mm-hmm.
Like Washington this, the Washington that. One name was the Washington Presidents.
That's horrible. That's horrible. Washington football team is good because the name before was so divisive that Washington football team feels very much like down the middle, easy, no issues, and it resembles a soccer team. Detroit's up 1-0 or safe. Yeah, 1-0. So Detroit's they might be punching their ticket to the Bronx to get smoked in the ALCS.
There's rumors, Jason and James, that the American Indian community is wanting to name back just because it's such a horrid show going on in Washington. Might as well have just kept the Redskins.
Nah, didn't they lose a lot of money? Didn't that community lose a lot of money when they changed that name? So yeah, if I'm losing money, I want y'all to rename them that again.
Look, they just changed the name of the stadium. The name of the stadium is not FedEx Field no more. It's now Northwest Bank.
Terrible.
And I went to that game in 2019, the rain game, and that is by far the worst stadium in football. Like not even close. Like it is not even close with anyone else. The field level seats were $11, and it cost more to park than it did to actually sit in the field levels just because of the rain. I didn't even go to my seat because it was just downpour.
Oh, I stood there the whole game. The entire game I stood. It was terrible. It was a mud bowl. As a matter of fact, when they showed you that Bosa slide, I was sitting right there and walked off because we already won the game. I could have been on TV watching Bosa slide, and I walked away because I was like, I'm good. This game is over.
Nah, man, I'm soft, man. I was under I was under everything. I was in the middle. I'm soft. I don't care, man. I don't like being rained on. Rain's terrible. Like obviously, like whatever. Like it washes off. It's not crazy or whatever. But nah, man, I didn't want to do that, man. I had already taken the trip. Basically, I'd already taken the trip, so I was just like, it is what it is at this point.
I would have been to that. I would have been to that game if I weren't living in Atlanta at that time. I probably would have been at that game. And I probably would have been upset the whole time getting rained on. Because knowing me, I would not have checked the weather before I left the house. And I would have just walked in and it would have just been damp the whole game.
weather. That was one of them storms that had came early that morning. You wasn't expecting nothing. It was clear skies the whole weekend. And the day of the game, I'm driving north and it's just straight downpour.
Yeah, I drove from Jersey to go up, and I stayed like outside of DC, like right there before, but like closer to Baltimore. Man, I went to an Applebee's that night, and I didn't know Applebee's needed like an on-duty cop, man. I didn't know where I was at real quick, man. I was like, oh my God, these Dollaritas got people going nuts, man. I didn't know it. Hey, you know what? We made it. I get in where I fit in, the vibes, everything like that or whatever. I'm good. I know where I'm at. I know exactly like how to move. But man, I didn't see that coming, man, at all.
Listen, it's PG County, man. Next time you come down, just call the brother.
I got you. Well, now I know. Yeah, now I know. But yeah, man, an off-duty cop at an Applebee's, I was like, it's lit like that? That's crazy.
Listen, half the stuff in PG County got cops in it. And the Chinese restaurants got the
bulletproof glass. Oh, so that's home though. That's like uptown though. Like, I'm okay with that. Like, going to the liquor store and they flip you whatever it is, like through the thing. That I'm at home there. Like, I know, like, again, I know how to maneuver. But I was just a little shocked to be like at an Applebee's and see an off-duty cop. I'm like, damn, like, is nothing sacred. Like, I know people be bringing their families here. A liquor store is completely different. A bodega is completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like I know the vibes, but I was just like, damn, I was shocked by that.
And look, we're talking about PG. We're not even talking about Baltimore yet. Baltimore, whole different story.
Totally different story.
And he lives
totally different story. Yes, I'm back here. Been back here a year now. It's a totally different story. I have a question though. We're approaching the trade deadline, and yeah, are we buyers this year? And if we are, what are we looking at? And who are we looking at?
I think at this point, everybody's waiting for Dre Greenlaw to come back. I don't really think that anybody's going to be in the business of giving away linebackers or offensive linemen. So I would think it would be defensive line again. Like, obviously last year you saw the 49ers bought Randy Gregory, Chase Young. I would see something similar to that. But the problem is we won't see the full picture of who's sellers until, they start losing some games. Mm-hmm. I would love the idea of Jonathan Allen from Washington. I think the 49ers have enough cap space to make that a thing, restructure him and keep him. 29 years old, but Washington's playing too well. They're playing too well right now. They're probably going to win that division. I don't see them moving him. Right. I think the 49ers would have to look around at who is out of it, like, completely, and has somebody that they can parch from their roster. But yeah, it would have to be defensive line at this point, because I think, it's a 1-game sample size, but I'm fine with the 49ers secondary, especially after their biggest test and how they passed it, and the way that they just locked up DK Metcalf with a rookie, and Isaac Yiadom didn't give up any catches to him either. It's all coming together, and it doesn't sound like Charvarius Ward's going to be out for super long. So, yeah, I would think it was defensive line.
He ain't missing that Chiefs game.
No. Revenge game.
Exactly. I have a question for both of y'all.
What's that?
Do you sign Devin White?
I would.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Because Campbell ain't it. Ain't it. I'm sure Devin White is a better player than Campbell.
I would. And the reason that I would is you can never have too much depth. And you already seem hesitant to play D. Winters. Like I said, man, before Hufanga got injured, if we're going to have guys taking bad angles and getting beat, then you know what? Play the rook, because let the rook do that. I'm fine with that. When a vet does it, it pisses me off more than anything. I'm fine with the idea of D. Winters being out there. If he's going to get picked on, whatever it is, cool. He's a rook. But when you're a vet and you're getting cooked, I don't like that. So the idea of additional depth, because we believe Dre Greenlaw is going to come back. We just don't know, if you will. I absolutely 100% think that that's a move, unless there's some things that we're missing that we're not privy to. Attitude problem, it felt like the reason that he didn't play with the Eagles is because he didn't mesh well with Fangio, and Fangio, they made him inactive. So I don't know, but in terms of just skill set, regardless of how diminished Devin White is, you've got to give him a look at this point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree totally with that. And then with a guy like Devin White, if he comes in and he's actually still the same player that he was, you don't necessarily have to rush Dre Greenlaw back. Like you're not missing production. Even though Greenlaw, he's the Draymond Green of the team. He's the energy. He's the energy on the field. He because of how he brings it. Um, yeah, I would still love to have All Pro Devin White out there.
Shoot, didn't Greenlaw hand somebody up on the sideline during the Seattle game?
Yeah,
Yeah,
he did. Yeah, he did.
he big domed him.
He did. He was bullying somebody on that sideline, and I loved every second of it. Like I miss Dre Greenlaw, and I miss the energy that he brings because I know every week he's taking somebody to Suplex City.
And as Jason said, D Winters, I'll take D Winters all day because after that hit he gave in the Arizona game, I'm all in on D Winters now. I'm all in because I think he will cut that kid's head off.
And let the rook make his mistakes at this point. I'm fine with that. If it leads to growing, I think we saw it with Lenore, like where Lenore early on was getting picked on a little bit, and you know what? He learned from it, and that's the way that you got to kind of look at it. Now Lenore's the best player in our secondary. Do I think that that's something that's going to happen when Fred Warner still exists? No, but it would be nice to see him get some reps and get that experience under his belt, man. I'd rather give it to the rooks than somebody who I can set my watch to and know is not it right now, and that's unfortunately Devondre Campbell.
That hyena going to cost us money.
Yes, the fact that he's named the hyena, I love that. I love that.
He's been smoking that Seattle pack all weekend because he hasn't let up on Twitter, Instagram, or nothing.
Being up at 3 a.m. to troll DK Metcalf on IG Live is the hate that I aspire to. That Kendrick Lamar set the bar, and I think Diamador Lenore is approaching Kendrick Lamar levels of hate, and it just made me think I need to start hating more. And I aspire to be that much of a hater.
Oh, that's me every week on Spring Right Option Podcast. Every week. Let a Niner fan or a Rams fan or any fan say some reckless shit that has no validity behind it. I am muting you to the ends of time. People complain to Jason and Andrew about me on a weekly basis. If I'm on the show, even if I pop up for 2 minutes when I'm driving on the highway to work, I will mute your ass while I'm driving and then go back to just listening to the show as I drive.
That's it, man. You get muted and booted real quick, man. The Mod Squad is crazy, man. Between Ariel and my other guy, and Gammon, man. Oh my god, man. They like leaving some stuff up so I can cook as well too, or whatever. But for the most part, if you in there spamming and you talking nonsense, then they getting you up out of there, man. We best moderators in the world. I'll fight anybody on that.
I don't care what fan base you are of. I do to our own fan base. You say something reckless, mute. Oh, he don't want to hear us talk. Mute again. Shut up.
Nobody wants to hear you. Nobody wants to hear you talk if you're saying stupid shit.
And Jason cooks them too. I'll give Jason 5 minutes to cook them, and in between that 5 minutes, you get muted again.
Yeah.
The muting before you could respond is the funniest shit ever.
Well, the worst part is I only, if it's an obvious troll attempt, I'll let it go. But there are people that say things with their whole chest that are absolutely wrong. And I literally just got into it right now on Twitter with somebody about somebody believing that Baker Mayfield is better than Brock Purdy. And I just said, I was like, in no metric, in no way is that possible. And he said, I watch ball. And I was like, well, then you obviously don't know what the fuck you're watching then. I was like, so you should just shut up about it. Like, and like, it's just, it gets to that point. I don't like being like that. I like being objective. I like being level-headed. I like having rational conversations with people, even when I disagree. But when you push me to that point, man, oh my God, man, I can't let it go. And I didn't let it go today. So
I need you to do me a favor, Jason. I need you to go watch that video of Colin Cowherd talking shit about Purdy and all the quarterbacks.
I already put it up. I put it up. That's what started it.
Yeah, roast that dude. Roast that dude.
That's what started it. I literally put up the video. He said he would take Bo Nix over Brock Purdy. Like, we got to stop letting idiots have opinions. Opinions are wrong every single day. Opinions, and I hate when people hide behind that shit. Oh, it's just my opinion. Opinions are wrong every single day. The idea that an opinion can't be wrong is crazy. An opinion that can't be wrong is you prefer pepperoni on your pizza over mushrooms. That's an opinion that can't be wrong. When you tell me that you think Brock Purdy isn't better than Baker Mayfield, that is an opinion that is wrong 10 out of 10 days and twice on Sunday. That's insane to me.
Oh, God.
But do you know why people say what they say about Brock Purdy? Because they know how passionate of a fan base the faithful is. And they know that we're going to come out in droves to defend our players. So they know, okay, cool. I can talk shit about Brock Purdy. I'm going to get a lot of hits. And that's what they do. Like, these people don't really. Colin Cowherd does not really believe that Bo Nix is better than Brock Purdy. It's no way in hell he can believe that Bo Nix is better than Brock Purdy. But he says that because he knows that he's going to get a lot of clicks and he's going to get a lot of comments on his show based off of that. He's been doing it since last year, and he's been getting a lot of clicks from us. He's been getting a lot of hits from us. He's been getting a lot of retweets, a lot of reposts from us, a lot of shares from us. And this is what he's doing. This is what he wants. And honestly, he's kind of been doing it since the whole Trey Lance thing. You know, all you got to do is troll the 49er fan base, and you're going to get the attention that you're looking for.
I'm going to buy me what Chris Broussard bought for the show he has with Nick Wright. I'm going to buy me a inflatable field goal pole, and I'm going to have it every time somebody talks about Purdy. I'm just move the field goal pole around.
Yeah, moving the goalposts.
Moving the goalposts, because good God Almighty, people just on Purdy no matter what. It's relentless.
I would respect it if they actually had some different points that they were trying to make, but it's like you're saying the same shit every week because you know you're saying it for clicks. That's all you're saying it for. Like, you're not, because I hate this era of journalism. I hate this era of journalism where it's all for the clicks. Like, you're not actually putting forth any facts. You're just saying things like Jason said. You're saying, oh, but this is my opinion, but you're saying it because you know you're saying it for clicks because you know that's what you're going to get from certain fan bases. Like how they used to say, oh, well, Lamar Jackson's just a running back because you know that Baltimore Ravens fan base is coming for your ass. You know that. You know that.
He is a running back, but that can throw the ball.
Very well.
He's a running back. Very well.
Yeah.
Very well. Now all he needs to do is fix that accuracy. Once he fixes that accuracy problem, he's fine.
I think when it comes to quarterbacks, it's just people are who they are. And I think you take the good with the bad. I don't know if he'll ever fix it. But for every one of those times that he misses people or something like that, he's gonna make something happen that is not in the playbook. And like that's why I voted for him as MVP last year. I don't feel bad about it at all. You take the good with the bad. And I think no quarterback is perfect. Obviously, you wish Tom Brady had legs, but he didn't. But he did it how he did it. You know, the same thing. But I'll take it. I would take that with Lamar. Like, I'll take it. Like, there's going to be games where he unfortunately doesn't hit all the passes, and but then there's going to be those games where he absolutely lifts your offense in one way or another with his legs, or whether he makes one of those plays that just it's not available to regular people. So for me, I'm fine with it. I know Baltimore fans are fine with it.
Real quick,
I just need Lamar to have an off game next time he plays us.
That's true.
That's what I
in the Super Bowl.
Before we do the starting six, had we won that night, that Christmas game, I
would have voted Purdy. I would have. Yes.
That's all I need to hear. That's all I need to hear.
Yeah. Yes.
I tell all the time that Christmas game was the MVP vote right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was fine with it.
Good. Yeah, I 100% agree with that, man. I just he had a signature win against the best team in the league, in my opinion, and not much more you can do there. Obviously, the Purdy stuff, I felt like it was overblown, and you heard me, Ariel, after that week. I said, you know, if you think that this is some sort of like breadcrumb to game plan, not everybody has the Ravens personnel, and this is what I'm talking about with Mike McDonald. So yeah, I definitely changed my vote right there because I had it for Brock. And then he turns the ball over that many times. Lamar makes as many plays as he does. That's how you win MVPs, is you have a signature win like that.
Yeah. Once that game was over, I was perfectly fine with Lamar being MVP. I'm like, hey, Purdy had to win this game. He had to. We didn't win. And we lost in horrible fashion. Lamar went out there, dragged his nuts all across the field. So I ain't mad. I ain't mad. I ain't mad. Like, it is what it is. Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes are the two players that we have to absolutely figure out a way to beat. And it is what it is. We can beat everybody in the world. Those two guys, we have to figure out a way to beat.
Oh, the Ravens just overall, we just can't beat them.
Yeah.
The last time we beat them is when both franchises were struggling. And I believe Kaepernick and Torrey Smith, that connection was the game winner.
Mm-hmm.
Grand Slam, Cleveland Guardians.
I'm watching right now.
5-1 Cleveland is going to the Bronx.
Nice. That baseball game is insane.
I stopped watching after I realized the Giants weren't doing nothing this year.
Jason, this is my Andrew right here with the Giants baseball.
Oh, you're the Giants fan. Okay, and the Yankees fan. Yeah. All right, I can dig it.
Yeah. I'm a Giants fan because I was a Barry Bonds fan. When I used to play baseball, I patterned my game behind Barry Bonds. So that was my guy. Barry Bonds and Ken Griffey, those were my two guys. But Barry Bonds more so for me. So wherever Barry went, that's who I was a fan of. So when he came to the Giants, I said, okay, this is my squad. This is my forever squad right here. He's a Giant. So
I wish Ken Griffey was a damn Yankee just for one day. I wish.
Yeah, but you know why he's not?
Well, yeah, I know the story. Trust me. It aggravates me to the end of my times. Him and Maddox are my favorite players for forever. Greg Maddux and Ken Griffey.
It's funny because Ken Griffey said, I would retire before I would take a contract with the Yankees. You know how hard it is to say that? Like, it's like being the prom king and having a girl say, I don't want to go to the dance with you. And it's like, what? You see me? You look at me? What you mean, man? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, and just never would have happened.
He would, even if that was the only way he could win a ring, it's still not gonna happen.
Nope. Yeah. Some things are different than, like money, and it's personal. And you know what? I aspire to be that petty as well, too. But when you're that good, you can tell the Yankees to fuck off. That's how good I want to be at anything.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed. So y'all want to get into these starts and sits for the week?
Yes, please.
Good. All right, let's get into these starts and sits.
Starts and sits of the week.
All right, first game on the docket. The 9:30 a.m. game that probably nobody's gonna watch. Jaguars versus the Bears. Historically, the London games have been terrible for fantasy football. So are we starting anybody from this game?
Yeah. No, you have to at this point. Everybody's injured. Everyone's injured and there's bye weeks, and we're all just kind of scrambling right now. And we're just like, oh my God.
I hate you for making me say yes to this. But
yes. Look. Smash starts. There's two of them. There's three of them, in my opinion. It's DJ Moore. The Jaguars are giving up the most yards and points to perimeter receivers. DJ Moore is a smash start this week against his Jaguars defense. DeAndre Swift is on a tear. I don't know how you can bench him at this point. Roschon Johnson is getting like those goal line vulturing touchdowns, but DeAndre Swift has been great. And then I don't know how you sit Brian Thomas in this game unless you have better options, especially, with the bye weeks and all the injuries. Brian Thomas on Jacksonville seems to be the only stud that you can really run, and a sneaky, if you're desperate and you're super hurt right now. I got one league where Mostert's on a bye, and Devin Singletary was out, and I'm starting Trey Sermon. Tank Bigsby is slow but surely taking over this backfield against the with the Etienne. Tank Bigsby has been the far superior back the last few weeks. It's a sneaky start. It doesn't feel good, but if you hit, you hit. I don't say he's a must start, but those are the guys that I'm looking at in this game. Everyone else can just be benched if you have other options.
I have a question
I'm
for you
so
guys.
pissed. I'm so pissed about because you drafted ETN in the first 4 or 5 rounds.
Mhm.
So the fact that somebody you drafted that early is now being usurped, it's not a good feeling. It's not a good feeling.
It's
Like
a year
you-
too late. It felt like it was last year that it was going to happen with Bigsby. Like it felt like last year everybody was in on Bigsby, and this year he kind of just everybody was like, "Oh, Etienne's the workhorse." It's starting to get back to that now, and I think he just looks better when he's touching the football, no matter what capacity.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We spoke about the trade deadline, right?
Mhm.
ETN, what team you think he goes to?
I don't think they move him. I don't think Trent Baalke's smart. I have a hard time believing that Trent Baalke is going to do something that could probably net him some picks. He's going to sit there and say, "Yeah, we're convicted with our guy, and whatever." I don't think they move him. I think Etienne stays. He's still relatively cheap for them too.
I think Ariel forgot Trent Baalke's over there. Buccaneers versus Saints.
Everything Jason said about the picks of the game.
Buccaneers versus Saints. I think this game is going to be a shootout.
Mm-hmm.
It's of some sort. You know what? Now that I thought about it, Spencer Rattler is starting.
It don't matter. That means all that means is Olave is getting burned. That's all.
Yeah. Olave's definitely Spencer Rattler's already come out of his mouth and said, "I'm going to feed Olave. I'm going to feed Olave." Are we starting Shaheed this week now? I
think you still should.
That's so boomer bust, man. I think this week in particular, it's boomer bust with him. It's a glory play right now. I think the only 2 startable people that you can look at in the Saints and feel confident is Alvin Kamara and Olave. It's hard because when you play Shaheed, you look like a stud, but he can give you 26. He can give you 0. I don't like that variance unless I'm in a matchup where I look and I say, man, I need a bomb play because someone ahead of me is projected to like wash me. I'd probably look somewhere else, especially I would rather wait and see how this looks with Rattler before I just go right to Shaheed, even though he has a chance to blow up at any moment.
Any moment.
Shaheed look like a FanDuel pick, like a mid-game FanDuel pick.
Right.
Check. Right. 3rd quarter touchdown, 4th quarter touchdown.
Right. Yeah, like live. Like if you see it that he's cooking and you see his over-under, like, that his over-under can't be too crazy in receiving. So that's something that if you're looking for something to add to your parlay, I don't feel bad about that. I feel like, it'll take him 1 catch to probably break past his over-under, which should be probably set at like maybe 30-something yards, maybe. But him going over on 30-something yards doesn't mean that it's going to help you fantasy-wise.
Right. Nope. I need Shaheed for the rest of the season to be a little more Tyreek Hill and a lot less Deshaun Jackson.
Right.
That's what that's what we need. Because all my people that know about Deshaun Jackson.
Boomer bust.
Boomer bust. You never knew what week to play Deshaun Jackson. You never knew. You always felt like a jerk when you had him on his bench and he caught 2 bombs and now you got 60 points sitting on your bench. And then you play him the next week and he gives you 0 to 10.
30 yards.
Same thing with Gabe Davis last year. It was like like, yo, if you played Gabe Davis, you got 16 one week, you got 0 the next week, and you had to play him because he was destined to pop off. Yeah, I don't like players like that. Like Rashid Shaheed is a best ball type guy. Like I don't have to worry about when I put him in because when he pops, he pops. But I couldn't have a guy like that on my roster. It's too volatile.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Damn, He's the best
especially with Rattler at quarterback, because
we just don't know.
That's an unknown. That's an unknown unknown.
Yeah.
From the
just don't know.
Boondocks. From the Boondocks.
Right,
That's an unknown unknown.
And I think, look, Clint Kubiak's going to do a good job of putting Rattler in good spots and getting him some layups. I think there's a little bit more upside to the offense with Rattler because of the arm that he has over Derek Carr's. But the baseline that Carr gives you and being able to operate that offense, it lowers the floor, it strengthens the ceiling. But I would just be hands off this week. I'm just trying to see what happens. But if you're in a super flex league, there's no reason for Spencer Rattler to be sitting on waivers. You at least need to have him on your bench just to see what happens.
Right. It's on the Buccaneers side. I'm seeing doubtful for Rashawn White. I'm seeing doubtful. So this just may be the game
Bucky,
where Bucky just takes that role 100%, and Rashad White might be on the trading block.
Yeah. If you have Bucky Irving, I'd start him over guys like Rico Dowdle, Antonio Gibson, who's probably going to be the lead guy because Stevenson's out. I would go there because their offense is good enough. I'm not here to tell you about whether you should start Mike Evans or Chris Godwin. Yeah,
that's an automatic.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
An automatic.
But it's going to be very interesting to watch Marshawn Lattimore against Mike Evans. This is the greatest rivalry that we've seen, I think, in the last maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys hate each other. They get up to play each other, and I'm a big Mike Evans fan. I think I'll stand on business and tell anybody with a straight face that Mike Evans is the most underrated receiver in the history of football. And
thank you.
I don't care what anybody says.
Listen,
I've been screaming this. I've been screaming this for the last 4 years.
Every week on his show, he says it every week. They
Mike Evans
right there.
Mike Evans is a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Easy. Mike Evans is doing things in this league that nobody's ever done. No one. Right. I don't want to hear about it being a new passing league. Then why didn't Randy Moss do it? I don't want to hear about it being a new passing league because why didn't Calvin Johnson do it? Mike Evans is doing things that nobody's ever done. And you are just scoffing at it. It just makes no sense. And with different quarterbacks. He had Tom Brady for 1 year, or 2 years, whatever. But he had Jameis, now he's got Baker. Stop playing with Mike Evans, man. Most underrated receiver, first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, easily. All the wide receivers that everybody said was better than Mike Evans has outlasted them, and he will outperform them. Yep. So, yeah, Mike Evans is that guy.
I hate you, James. I didn't know you picked up Spencer Rattler, not Yahoo.
Oh yeah. I had to. We have a 2-quarterback league, and
you got to.
I had to, because if he goes off and he doesn't give the job back to Carr, you got you a top 10-ish quarterback, or at least top 15-ish quarterback for the rest of the year, especially in a year where the quarterback play is down, like it's down around the league. There's a couple of quarterbacks that's going off, but for the most part, quarterback play is down.
We'll talk later because I want to see what you want for Baker. Next game.
All right, so Commanders versus Ravens, which to me, I think this is going to be the game of the week.
Yes. It is.
Well,
they should have flexed this.
Dallas and Detroit is going to be fun too.
Yeah.
You have to understand, Jason, with the area we live in.
Oh yeah, no.
Oh my God.
This game is the get-in price has shot up to like almost like $300. And who would have thought Washington, Baltimore would elicit that kind of response? I agree 100%.
Yeah. Jaden Daniels. Hopefully he can get them out of that stadium and into a better one.
Yeah.
Of course, we're starting everybody from this game because both defenses are the Ravens defense is a shell of itself at this point in time. Like, you can score on the Ravens defense. You can score on the Commanders defense. So I'm expecting a lot of points from this game.
I don't see
a lot of points.
I don't see Derrick getting a lot of points. I'm still starting Derrick Henry, but I don't see him getting a lot of points. I think it's going to be a passing game for the Ravens. Eat that secondary up. Their secondary is still weak.
Yeah, the secondary is weak, but I still think you should run Derrick Henry because you can run. You can run on the Commanders.
I didn't say
run on the Commanders.
I didn't say bench Derrick Henry. They're not. I didn't say bench him. I'm just saying.
No.
I mean,
temper your expectations.
Yeah, their passing game is going to be what really wins the game for Baltimore this week. I think Andrews, Bateman, Flowers, all of them.
You think you think this is going to be Andrews' breakout game?
It could be. Listen, I don't know.
They're good. They're good against tight ends. The Commanders, and it's the usage. I don't think the players cook. I think it's the usage, right? Like they're just not prioritizing getting him the ball, and a lot of that has to do with the fact that Derrick Henry is running through everybody. I think, given the tight end landscape, I know a lot of people got rid of Mark Andrews and they cut him. Who do you feel like you have that's a better option that's out there on waivers that you're not just like throwing a prayer on at this point? You've got to play Mark Andrews at this point. Right now, the tight end one, George Kittle. The tight end one is George Kittle. Just like we all drew it up. Not Sam Laporta, not Trey McBride, not Travis Kelce, George Kittle.
You're an asshole.
I swear. What do you want me to do? He's got 5 touchdowns in the red zone. Nobody's been utilized more in the red zone than George Kittle. Not any receiver, nobody but George Kittle. That's the way we all drew it up, right?
But this is what we've been calling for forever.
I know.
You got a guy. Kittle's like 6'4". Why are you not getting him the ball in the red zone?
Mm-hmm.
Like
it only
big
took
guys.
It only took Shanahan what 7, 8 years.
It took Shanahan getting a real quarterback. How about that?
Yeah.
How about that? But Travis Kelce, I have a conspiracy theory around Travis Kelce. I have a conspiracy theory on it. As far as his production, his production took a dip once the emergence of Rashee Rice. Once the emergence of Rashee Rice came about, his production took a dip. Now that Rashee Rice is hurt, now all of a sudden we got the Travis Kelce again.
By the quarterback.
Yeah, I think Mahomes started favoring Rice over Kelce, and now he has to go back to Kelce. So if you have Travis Kelce, you feel comfortable starting him again. Like he's cooking again.
Yeah,
no touchdowns yet. But he's cooking.
The ghost of Juju Smith-Schuster was going crazy on Monday night, right? And a lot of people are going to run. A lot of people are going to run to that. I think in your head, the right idea is like, yeah, it's got to be Kelce. I'm just worried that he's lost a step. I'm worried that this is like the cliff comes, and when it comes, you really can't prepare for it. I'm not running out there to go start Juju Smith-Schuster. Obviously, they're off this week, so you can't. I'm not running out there and saying, oh, man, you got to play him against the 49ers. I'm not, but I do worry that Kelce's a little bit cooked, man. Like, just watching him, he just doesn't look like he's as spry as he used to be, and he's just not finding himself open. And it happens fast.
For fantasy purposes, I absolutely agree with you.
You have to start him. No. You're not benching Travis Kelce.
For real life purposes,
I hope he screws himself.
Yes.
Well,
for real life
again,
purposes, I hope he's washed. If we have to see the washed, if we ever have to see them again in the Super Bowl.
And look, being washed doesn't mean that you can't be good for fantasy. But he's going to be off this week anyway, so you got to. So if you're pivoting and you don't have Kelce this week, look around on your waiver wire for guys like Cade Otton from Tampa Bay. I think Baker targets him a lot. If you're in a league, where Pat Freiermuth is somehow available, I think that's another place that you can go.
That's a Travis.
Yeah, and
Conklin.
if Taysom Hill does get cleared to play, I take a shot on him during this bye week because, again, another boomer bust guy. If I'm going to take a shot on anybody this week, I'd rather take it on Taysom Hill because he could have 3 rushing touchdowns just as easy as he can give you nothing. But you can get all those other all those other guys, and they can give you nothing as well too. I'd rather have the upside.
Yeah, the ultimate vulture, Taysom Hill.
Real
God,
quick,
I was loving him being out, honestly, because Kamara was actually getting the goal line carries like he should be.
real quick on Kelsey. Some Niner fan that works at the post office with me, she said that when he shaved his beard and everything like that, he had the Samson effect. You know how in the Bible Samson, they cut his hair, he lost his
Yeah.
power. That's Kelsey. He shaved his beard, he lost all his mojo.
That
Don't never
mustache
shave
is
the
giving
beard.
like what that mustache is just giving like what seems to be the problem, officer.
That Dudley Do Right mustache. I hate him.
Yeah.
I hate that whole team. I hate that whole team.
Good God.
But okay, so next game is Cardinals and the Packers. Are we expecting a shootout with this one?
Yes.
Expecting a shootout? Okay. So start everybody.
I would, yes.
So Cardinals, you're starting Marvin Harrison, you're starting Trey McBride, you're starting James Conner, you're starting Kyler Murray.
Mhm.
I think your sneaky start is Greg Dortch this week from the slot. I do think that these guys are going to be in your lineup regardless. But if you're talking again, you've got a week where Justin Jefferson and a few other guys, let's just say like me in one league, I have Justin Jefferson and Devontae Adams. I'm screwed, right? Like I've got to figure out something to do. Greg Dortch doesn't feel bad here in that spot. So that's the guy that I would probably look to. Michael Wilson isn't a bad one, but I think this is a big Greg Dortch week if I was looking at how this game's going to go.
All right. What are we looking at as far as the targets in Green Bay? Who's eating this week?
Jaden Reed has got to be he's a top 10 receiver every single week that Jordan Love laces it up, man. Jaden Reed, they get him the ball in inventive ways. Dontavian Wicks was a popular pickup. Unfortunately, he didn't do anything this past week with what he had. I would look at the waiver wire and see if he's there. Romeo Doubs is going to play this week after missing a week after some, disciplinary reasons. Tucker Kraft is a guy that, again, if he's on your waiver wire, I don't know why. You guys, if you're looking for someone to play while your tight end is out, Tucker Kraft is an excellent call. And, you're starting Josh Jacobs, but it hasn't been as good as we thought it would be, especially considering Marshawn Lloyd is, on IR, and you figured that, Jacobs is going to get everything he can handle. It hasn't given you everything that you wanted, but you have to play Jacobs this week.
That kid Wilson is cooking though when he gets in.
Wilson's good too. Wilson's a great stash pickup. Like I would if I had a bench spot where like I'm messing around and I'm moving guys around. The secret is always to pick up someone's backup before the games start. That way, if God forbid something happens to the starter, you've already got him on your bench and you don't have to run to waivers for him. So, yeah.
Yeah. I kind of did that in a lot of leagues with Mason. As soon as I got the notification that McCaffrey was out on the Monday night game with the Jets, every league I ran to grab Mason in that I didn't have Mason in. If I drafted CMC, I drafted Mason. But if I didn't get a chance to draft CMC, I left Mason alone. But I ran and grabbed Mason in every league.
I don't blame
well,
you.
invite me to your leagues because every last pick of my drafts was Mason, regardless, and I didn't even have to have McCaffrey. I was sitting around waiting, like just in case, So yeah, invite me to those leagues because if he's on the waiver wire, man, we're gonna do some damage over there.
I'll give you an invite to next year to a couple of my leagues.
Hell yeah.
Colts and Titans. Is this the week that Will Levis breaks out?
No.
Will the Levis break this week?
No.
Mason Rudolph probably gonna come in and replace him mid-game again. Bum.
The Levis is gonna break with turnovers. My God, man. I mean, I look. There's a way for you to not be a functioning quarterback in the league, but still be a functioning fantasy quarterback. And he's not doing either.
No,
and everyone's suffering as a result of it. There's no reason that DeAndre Hopkins should be as bad as he is, right? Like, regardless of where he is, like, someone should be able to get him the ball. I know that man knows how to get himself open. He's still one of the better contested catches guys in the league. yeah, it's hands off. Tony Pollard is your start, but that can swing so quickly with Tajay Spears. But I'm not playing Levis this week. I have made the conscious effort the last few times that he's been out there. I've started Daniel Jones every single week over him in a 2-quarterback league. And you know what? I've been nothing but fine doing that. And it's not even really close.
Isn't Tajay hurt this week though?
No, he's good to go.
Okay.
He's good to go. Yeah.
So,
but again, you can only really trust Pollard if you're desperate,
right.
Tajay. If you're desperate, Tajay. On the Colts side, man, this is really interesting because the whole Pittman thing, we all thought he was going to be out for however long, and now all of a sudden he's practicing. I'm going to give it a go. Okay. But last week, you saw the pass game come alive under Joe Flacco, and it sounds like Anthony Richardson's back. So if you have Anthony Richardson, you're starting him because of the legs and everything. It hasn't been exactly what you wanted. I know I'm starting him wherever I can, except for one league. I have Justin Fields and Kyler Murray. I'm starting both of them in the Superflex league, and I'm leaving Richardson on the bench. But Josh Downs went crazy in this game, and Alec Pierce is your guy now. If Pittman misses, Alec Pierce is the guy that everybody's going to go to, but I'm going to go one step further, and I'm going to go a little bit deeper. Adonai Mitchell, man. It's got to be AD. AD Mitchell has been doing the most, getting himself open and separation-wise, and it just has not come to fruition. They haven't been throwing the ball. And everyone's going to look at it and say, well, he's not usable. He's on the cusp of a breakout. Now, does that happen with Anthony Richardson? I don't know. Would I prefer Joe Flacco to start? For sure.
Oh yeah.
For fantasy reasons.
Fantasy
reasons.
I don't understand how the Colts go back to Anthony Richardson after seeing the way Flacco has operated that offense in the last 2 weeks. To me, that sounds like you're trying to get fired. That's what it sounds like to me. You're trying to get fired because you're putting this guy on the field who's clearly not ready. Anthony is not ready. He's not ready. Sure, he gives you upside with the legs and all that, but he gives you downside with the passing decisions. Like he's not ready. He needs more seasoning.
I'm gonna say it like Denzel said about Sunshine and Remember the Titans. You could throw a country mile, but you can't pitch a ball.
Yeah, how about that?
Right.
Now on the other side,
a 5-yard out for his life.
Now,
and one other thing, real quick too, about the Colts. You got to start 49ers legend Trey Sermon in this tough matchup, right? Like in this tough matchup, right?
It's 2 weeks in a row.
What do you mean? 2 weeks in a row? Right. Hey, look. If you were brave enough to take the plunge last week, you were rewarded with a touchdown and 5 receptions. You were rewarded. This is a tougher matchup. Tennessee's very good against the run, but where else are you going to find a guy who's going to be literally getting all the run? And then if you're really desperate, Tyler Goodson is somebody that you can pick up and play. He's certainly going to get some run this week. But yeah, it's gross, man. This is where we are in fantasy football. Trey Sermon is starting for fantasy football managers. It's insane.
And it's just week 6.
I know.
What's next? TDP?
Real quick about Will Levis. One last thing about Will Levis. He has no excuses to be trashed this year. He actually has an offense around him. He has 3 1,000-yard receivers around him, and he's trash. So
he got Tyler Boyd.
Yeah. So the argument about a quarterback having talent and the talent uplifting him, I think that goes out the window when you look at Will Levis because he has the talent. If you put Brock Purdy on that team with that talent, that team would be winning. So that goes into my argument about the quarterback being actually good. Brock Purdy is actually good versus Will Levis, who's trash. So all the people are saying, well, he has all this talent. Talent don't mean shit if you're not good at your position of quarterback.
Yes! Let's go South Carolina. Sorry.
Oh.
They just tied out Alabama.
I was saying I'm watching a baseball game and it's at a commercial. I was like, damn, this. I'm like, this dude loves Toyota.
No. Alabama's up by 8, 27-19. And
You said, are you hating? You hate watching Alabama?
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry. Next game.
Next
No.
game.
I hate watch a lot of things, so I completely get it.
I get it. I'm not mad at it. I hate watch Alabama too. I'm a Florida State guy, but I hate
All
watch
right.
Alabama.
Oh, you and Andrew Pasquini.
Yeah. It's been a tough year.
We need to connect the both of them. They'll talk Giants and
Wow,
FSU.
Giants and Florida State. My God, yo, I need you to meet Andrew. Do you like wrestling by any chance?
Yes. Big
Oh,
wrestling
Jesus
fan.
Christ. Ariel, they're the same person.
Big wrestling fan. Been a big wrestling fan forever.
Ariel, we gotta introduce them, blood. We gotta introduce them, man.
Yes.
That's too easy.
Bring them my way. Way. I would love to sit down and have a talk with
I
somebody.
would add you to our text chain, but Andrew don't ever talk. It's just me and Jason.
Andrew's he's reserved. I'm the yapper. You know what I'm saying? So like, but he's Giants, Florida State, wrestling, Niners. God, what you said, Bulls? He don't really care about basketball like that. Like he's a Warriors fan, but like he don't really care like that. Wolverhampton Wolves, the Wolverhampton Wolves, and that's Premier League.
Okay.
Yeah,
I don't watch soccer.
Yeah, me neither. He's trying to get me, but he's up at 6 o'clock on the West Coast in the morning watching that shit. He's way more dedicated than me. I won't even be up at 9:30 to watch that game. So the football game, and that's American football, and I care about the sport more than I care about anything.
My favorite soccer player is here in America, so I don't even wake up for his games.
There you go.
I try to be up for those 9:30 games. It just all depends on how late my Saturday nights are, because I'm a cartoonist, so I've been working on a cartoon. So sometimes I keep some late nights working on a cartoon. So if I get an early enough sleep, I'll be up at 9:30 watching the game. So this week I feel like I'm gonna be up to watch the game.
I'll just have it on in the background while I sleep. I can hear it. If I can hear it, it's fine. But I'm not getting up to watch Bears and Jaguars. Like it's crazy to think that like the NFL is like, we need to get Europe involved. We need to get the UK involved. Stop sending them the goddamn Jaguars and start sending them a good product. And maybe they'll like the shit.
Are you one of those people that sleep that have dreams about what's on TV?
Yeah. So like I'll be
you're having football
dreams. Yeah, I'll be in the dream and it'll be about anything, and I'll hear Trevor Lawrence with a great pass to Brian Thomas, and it'll just be in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that because I did that last week. I think I put on Red Zone, and I just took a nap for the first hour, for the first set of games, because I wanted to get up and I wanted to watch the 49ers. So everything that was going on during Red Zone was in my dream, and it was a lovely dream. Mm-hmm. Next game, Texans versus Patriots. Texans versus Patriots.
Seriously,
this is the start of your boy,
Derek May.
The start of Derek May. Who is going to be the beneficiary of Derek May this week?
Kendrick Bourne?
Yeah, Kendrick Bourne is back. 49er legend, Kendrick Bourne.
It's gonna be probably the Mario Douglas of anything.
The first third and one, Kendrick Bourne.
This is hands off in this game. If you're looking for a home run, Jalen Polk. They showed chemistry during preseason. Jalen Polk is the burner. Yeah. If you want the safe pass catcher, it's probably Hunter Henry in this one, especially considering, rookies will rely on their tight end. Hunter Henry is, I wouldn't be shocked if it was Austin Hooper. I would steer clear of this situation and try to watch it from afar. Now, we are in bye weeks. We are seeing guys who have horrible injuries. Antonio Gibson is probably your start if you have to, because it's just him. It's him and Jermichael Hasty, 49ers legend, by the way. Yes. I don't feel great about starting Gibson, but if I have to, I will. Hopefully you don't have to, but Gibson's the one who's going to get the work, and I think you really can't walk away from him this week with Stevenson out. But yeah, I would like to be hands off with this entire offense.
Amen.
There's not a lot of upside this week, especially against this Houston defense that has been so good.
Yeah. With Houston, with Nico being out, I think it's going to be Tank. I think Tank is going to finally have. I think he's finally going to have the game. I want to see what Stephon looks like, because I feel like Stephon may be the number one this week, but I feel like Tank is going to go off finally.
Yeah,
finally.
I think it's a big Tank week, and Mixon's back at practice. So if you have Mixon, you have to start him. You can drop Cam. You can drop Cam Akers if you've been playing him the last 2 weeks, because not only is Mixon back, it sounds like Dameon Pierce is going to be there.
I think Schultz might be the safety net like he was last week, because he had about 5 or 6 catches last week. So Schultz,
start your Texans. Start your Texans this week. The Patriots have a good defense, but I think start your Texans, especially with Nico out. So if you have Diggs, you're starting him. Big Tank week, I think. If you've been waiting on Mixon, you got him back. There's no way you can't. And we just talked about how bad tight end is. You got to play Schultz. So I think you're fine with all your Texans. I don't think that you can shy away from them in this matchup, given the bye weeks and the injuries.
Yep. Next game, Browns versus Eagles. Ugh. The return of AJ Brown against the Browns
and Devontae Smith.
Devontae Smith. So I guess we're gonna see Hurts play like Hurts again this week.
No. I mean, you're gonna start him. But I don't think, and this is like not hyperbole, Deshaun Watson and Jalen Hurts might be at the bottom of like quarterback play this entire season, and regardless of weapons. I don't think you've seen a more turnover worthy player than Jalen Hurts, and Deshaun Watson has just been fucking terrible because he's just bad at football. Like, it's over. Like, it's done. He's cooked. He's done.
Start Jameson Winston.
So yeah, put in Jameis. It'll be way better. I think in this game you got to stay away from Jerome Ford, Amari Cooper, David Njoku, Jerry Jeudy. You can't play any of these guys at this time because the offense is incompetent. Now, AJ, Devonta Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. I don't care what the matchup is. You're starting them. I'll go as far as this. I would start Justin Fields over Jalen Hurts this week against the Raiders. I would do that because Jalen Hurts is just not getting the rushing production that you want. He's not scoring, with the tush push anymore, and he's turning the football over. He's a net loss right now, especially considering where you are and where you drafted him and stuff. So this week, I would rather play Justin Fields against the Raiders than I would Jalen Hurts against the Browns. But that doesn't mean that you can't start Devonta Smith and AJ Brown and all the rest of those guys. I think you absolutely have to.
I got the pick of the week for that game. Start the Browns kicker. That's all the.
Chargers versus Broncos. Broncos with the sneaky defense. The sneaky defense of the year almost. Like them in Minnesota, like came out of nowhere with this defense.
You start Bo Nix. You start in 2 quarterback leagues if you have to.
I mean, you would have to be up against the wall like to start him. Like you man.
In my dynasty league,
J.K. Dobbins this week.
In my dynasty league, I am up against the wall.
That's different. That's different. Like you'd have to be up against you'd have to literally. There's no waiver wire in dynasty, So like that's absolutely true.
Not in his leagues. In James' league, all these quarterback these people will pick a fart at quarterback and hold them for 3 years.
Yep. You should see my other dynasty league. I got like
No.
9 quarterbacks, and everybody's talking about you're hoarding quarterbacks. Why aren't you hoarding quarterbacks?
Well, less than that, just come trade for one. Then I just traded.
Right.
I just traded Sam Darnold for a third and next year's first. So
See,
it's
Darnold
getting
went
spooky.
for a third and a first in his league. He traded. Dude didn't want to trade. Dude said he wants to trade me a second for Kyler Murray. I'm like, you are sick in your
first
fucking
round
head.
in a super flex.
Yeah, dynasty?
It's the first round.
Like, you sick in your fucking head if you think I'm just going to give you Kyler Murray for a second round pick. No, you're going to give me a first for Kyler Murray. You're going to give me a first for Trevor Lawrence.
And you're gonna sweeten the deal too and give me another pick on the back end because that's how valuable he is.
Exactly. And I don't have to trade. I'm 5-0. I don't have to trade anybody. I can hold my guys.
Yeah.
We starting J.K. Dobbins this week.
So yeah, you have to. But I will say this: if we're talking about stash guys and guys to pick up, Gus has already been declared out in this game. Kamani Vidal, because things haven't necessarily gone the way of Dobbins. He's faced some really good run defenses, and I don't think it's necessarily any indication of the player that he is. I think it's remarkable what he's been able to come back from with the ACL. He still has a stranglehold on his job, but Vidal is somebody that everybody was big on. I would grab him and hold him if, again, we're talking about like having the backup before you have to run the waivers. If Vidal, for whatever reason, either takes the work or, Dobbins gets hurt, I think he has a clear path to beating Gus, who just hasn't looked good this year. So I would pick up Vidal. Other than that, you can only start really Ladd. And if you have to start Justin Herbert, for sure, but I think you can find better options in single quarterback leagues.
I don't know. I don't know why Brendan Rice isn't getting any run. He's got it. They really have nothing at wide receiver there. So, but outside of Ladd, it's really nothing. Brendan Rice should definitely be getting some run. Like, he's got to be better than the other two options, or at least one of the other two options. He's got to be better than.
And isn't this the Monday night game?
No, this isn't the Monday night game. This is 4:00. The Monday night game this week is the Jets versus the Bills.
It's a doubleheader. No, it's next week. That's next week.
Mm-hmm.
My apologies.
Okay, next game. We alluded to this one: Steelers and Raiders.
Justin Fields, man. Justin Fields,
Pickens,
and Jalen Warren's back. I think because just the way Najee has been, obviously, you had those weeks where Najee was the only guy in the backfield and just you still got nothing. Jalen Warren is somebody who, if he's floating around on your waiver wire, you got to pick him up. I don't think you can really start him, but I like Pickens, Freiermuth, and Justin Fields in this game. I think those are your starts right there for the Steelers.
And the
Najee missed the 2.3 yards per carry.
Sad.
I want to blame the offensive line, but I can't. His QB vision.
Yeah, he has none.
It's Trent Richardson. Falcons
Raiders,
and Panthers.
No Raiders either.
No Raiders.
By the way, no
Except
Raiders.
Brock,
no, not Aiden. Brock Bowers with
Brock
Aiden
Bowers.
O'Connell. That's it.
Yeah,
but if
Brock
you're gonna jump on that Zamir White, Alexander Madison thing, you've really you're off the deep end now at this point. It's worse than it's ever been for you then.
Yeah, Zamir's out.
No, he's playing. He's back.
He's back in.
Okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter though. I don't care. I don't care. I'm not.
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Dirty Dom Mysterio, aka Aiden O'Connell, as
Officer Farva.
Yeah, I'm not sold. I'm not sold at quarterback. Like,
what's the name of that restaurant like Farva? Shenanigans.
What is it? I don't want a large Farva. I want a goddamn liter of cola.
Do you watch the firefighter show they have?
What happened?
Tacoma FD. You ever watch Tacoma FD?
No, I haven't.
Watch Tacoma FD. If you like their movies, watch Tacoma FD. It's the same thing.
That's the people that did Super Troopers, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we've Beer Fest and all that.
Okay, okay, yeah, yeah. I love their movies. I'm definitely gonna.
You like the TV show. It's the
I'm
same
gonna
thing.
watch. I'm gonna watch a couple episodes of that. Falcons and Panthers. Of course, you're gonna
Oh,
start all your Falcons, even
start all,
though
start all your Falcons and start if you're desperate. Andy Dalton a quarterback, Deontay Johnson's a start, and Chuba Hubbard is a start. Man, oh my
going
goodness.
off, going
Yeah,
off.
he's look, I'm one of those people that stash Jonathan Brooks.
Hmm.
Thinking that it's eventually going to happen. But man, it's going to be hard to push Chuba out the way that he's been playing. Man, he's getting all the work, and this offense looks competent now with Andy Dalton. So if you're desperate, 2 quarterback leagues, Andy Dalton's a start. This week I don't have Patrick Mahomes in one of my leagues, so I'm starting him and Kirk Cousins, hoping for a shootout in a super flex. But Chuba and Deontay Johnson, they're running the offense through him. I don't want any parts of anybody else. But yeah, start all your Falcons.
I know
Everyone.
Jake was looking at himself in the mirror when he was like, "Damn it, I got to start Kirk Cousins."
Hey,
I wouldn't
hey,
be.
he
I
put a
wouldn't be afraid to
500
start.
last time I started him. I was
Right.
like, hey, I'm with it.
I wouldn't be afraid to start Leggett this week either.
I like it. It's definitely something that should be there. And if you think this game is going to be a ping pong game, like back and forth, I like that idea. I'm not against it. But I'm just talking about like what I know, like like in terms of that. But that's a sneaky start right there. Leggett, 100%. If there was ever a week for him to break out, it would be this one. If this is going to be a back and forth blowout game.
Now, this is another good game. Lions and Cowboys.
CD and Dak and Jake Ferguson. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
No, Tolbert.
Jalen Tolbert is a flex option. Somebody who, if you're down bad, down horrendous, like that's not a bad move. It's not a bad move, right? So I'll put Tolbert in there. Detroit.
Start
Everybody.
Dallas's defense is a shell of itself this year. They can get scored on. So yeah, start
Monty
everybody.
and Gibbs are going to score. Monty and Gibbs are going to score. You have to play Laporta. You're banking on that one big play from Jameson Williams, and that could come at any time. And you're starting Amon-Ra. So yeah, 100%. If you're super desperate, if you are down horrendous, if you are in a dynasty league and you're just like you're scraping, Tim Patrick's not a bad idea for Detroit.
Listen, they have no Marshawn Leland, no Michael Parsons, no DeMarcus Lawrence.
DeMarcus Lawrence. Oh. I mean, Deron Bland might play in this game, but I don't care. Even if he does, I really don't care.
They're barbecue chicken.
Thank you. That offensive line in Detroit is gonna make holes this big for Gibbs and Monty.
And I'm here for it. I'm here for it because I got a lot of Gibbs. I'm here for it.
I'm here for Dallas losing. Period. That always brings me joy. So.
I mean, Dallas is gonna lose. I'm not tripping about that. Yeah.
Next game: Bengals versus Giants.
Jesus Christ! How is that
That's
not
Sunday Night Football?
Flexed? How has it not been flexed?
Oh God, Sunday Night Football, man. It's just like
Sunday Night Football.
And
Wan'Dale Robinson. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, 100%. No neighbors in this game. Wan'Dale's good to give you 11 catches for 28 yards, but that's great in a PPR league. You'll take that all day. 13 points off of somebody like that.
Slayton.
And a touchdown. Don't forget that touchdown.
Well, Slayton is your like deep threat, right? Like your deep play. Like you just need one. He did it twice against Seattle last week. So I'd have to really be down bad, like to be starting Darius Slayton. Like I'd have to be really sick in the head, like or my team is just obliterated with injuries and buys. Singletary you probably play, but Tracy impressed last week, so I wouldn't be shocked if you see Singletary come off the field a little bit. So if you're looking for a desperate running back play, Tyrone Tracy isn't bad either. And Daniel Jones is definitely startable in a 2 quarterback league, just based on his legs. And you know what? If nobody else will say it, I will. He's been playing pretty good the last few weeks.
Yes, he has. And I'm here to give Daniel Jones his flowers for the way he's been playing the last couple of weeks. Like he's actually been playing good football. Every now and then you get that out of Daniel Jones. Every now and then.
The only thing that scares me about this game is that defensive line is so just dangerous that Burrow might be running around the whole game. He may be running around the whole game.
Well, you're starting Burrow, you're starting Higgins, you're starting Chase.
Chase.
I don't think we have to worry about that.
Both chases.
Both Chase, and that's where I was going. So Zach Moss and Chase Brown have been cleared. They're still having Zach Moss involved, but if you're looking for the explosive play, I think it's only a matter of time before Chase Brown takes this thing over. So if he's on your waiver wire, then he needs to not be. I mean, but I wouldn't feel bad about starting him, although the New York Giants are very good against the run, but they use him in different ways. And if you were asking me to pick Moss or Brown, I'm gonna start Chase.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that one. We starting Gesicki this week.
Ooh.
It's tough in tight end land, so
Yeah,
you might have to. He's been a target, but his numbers have drastically dropped since Higgins came back. And it felt like when Higgins was away, then like it really became a priority to get him the ball. With Gesicki, you're kind of just it's a dart throw. With this one, sneaky play. Theo Johnson for the Giants.
Ooh.
Theo Johnson, very sneaky.
He's got to get one. He's got to get one of those red zone targets.
And now that he's getting into the flow of things, like he gave you a solid. I think it was like 8 in PPR last week. In the Seattle game, Theo Johnson is somebody that if you're looking for someone on the cusp of a breakout, I could definitely see that, especially considering Neighbors is going to be out.
I'm gonna stick to my boy Andre Izzy for Cincinnati.
How do you say his last name? Say it. Pronounce it for me.
I'm not saying his last name. I call him
Say
Izzy.
Is Shovis or I just sit down I'm like Iasovis. I don't care. Like I'm not saying it the way
Iasovis. I just call him Andre Izzy to call it easy for me.
Yeah,
I call him Andre Isotonus.
Yeah,
because that's what it looks like to me.
That man is gonna be good next year when he's the permanent number 2.
Let me ask y'all opinion of All Junior. What's y'all opinion of All Junior?
He'll be good.
Who's that?
Because tight end
for who? I'm sorry.
For Cincinnati.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he should be good.
It's a reason why I'm asking this, because I kind of wandered over to Bengals land over the last couple of weeks, and they're saying that All Junior is the next George Kittle.
He's an Iowa kid, so I'm not surprised.
Like they really got their hopes up about him. Like I'm like, do you understand what you're saying about being the next George Kittle? That's saying a lot.
Well, what I think they mean is like kind of just like laying in the weeds, like type. Like I don't think that I'm sure they probably are comparing skill set, but I think they are kind of just saying like out of nowhere type.
If you're gonna go the landscape of tight ends from Iowa, Noah Fant right now is the bottom of the totem pole.
And it's crazy because I think he's still good.
Exactly. Eric All, I can see the upside over Fant already.
Yeah.
But the question is, will he get the burn in Cincinnati?
That's the question. If Cincinnati is going to lose one of those guys next year, and it's probably going to be Higgins. So All could be in the mix. He could be in the mix for the vacated targets that Tyler Boyd used to get. So he could be in the mix for that.
That's a good dynasty stash.
Yeah. I thought about it, but I got 3 tight ends in my one dynasty league. I got
taxi squad.
Yeah, but my taxi squad's full too. Like I don't think you understand how deep my team is. Like I'm gonna go over my team with you.
You don't want to know, Jason. We'll do that off air.
Yeah, my team is deep. Last game, the Monday night game. Bills and Jets. Is this the week Josh Allen gets off the skid?
No. But you have to start him. Like I don't think you can expect a big game from him. But you have to start him. It sounds like James Cook's probably going to be good to go. Khalil Shakir is going to be back. But the problems with Josh Allen right now in fantasy and reality, they're not a Khalil Shakir away from curing that.
No.
They're missing. I don't understand if you're the Buffalo Bills why you're not sending everything for Devontae Adams right now.
Exactly.
I literally do not understand the thought process and why he's not already in Buffalo at this point.
I've been saying that. Or at least go and rescue one of the two receivers from Tennessee. Go and rescue one of those guys.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think you have to start Josh Allen, but you don't feel good about it. I mean, if you have Kincaid, you probably have to start him. You don't feel good about it. James Cook, you start him, but he's banged up. And then with the Jets, you have to kind of just hope that this new play caller is going to help things because Breece Hall is not returning what you wanted him to. So if you look at it, the play caller now, Tom Downing, he was the play caller in Tennessee during Derrick Henry's time. So if history indicates anything, they're going to run a shit out the football. So you got to play Breece Hall this week. You might have to start Rodgers, but Garrett Wilson, is he going to get 23 targets again? Probably not. So that's a little bit scary. I think you have to play him as well too. But I don't want any parts of like Alan Lazard, Conklin, or Mike Williams. Nope. I don't want to play those guys unless I have to.
Yeah. I think it's going to be. I'd be surprised if this game turns into a shootout. I don't see it. I feel like there's going to be a defensive struggle, and we're all going to be pissed that we had parts of this game.
I'm already pissed thinking that I got to watch this shit, but yeah.
It's football, so it could be worse. It could be worse things on TV. But
I mean, I'll watch it, but I don't have to like it.
I'll have WWE in the background.
Yeah, like the game. What was it? 2 weeks ago, or was it last week? No, 2 weeks ago.
The doubleheader.
Yeah, the Miami Tennessee game. My God, that was
was
terrible.
Yeah,
that was some really bad football being played in that game, and I hated every second of it.
McDaniels has a face that, like, if it's not going his way, he's confused.
He was confused.
He sits there with his mouth open, like he's trying to catch flies. Like, what's going on? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, he looks like he's in over his head when Tua's not out there.
It's sad. It's really sad. It's an abomination.
All right, so that was the starts and sits, and now we're gonna switch it up a little bit. We're gonna go to we're gonna get some Q&As. So we got some questions. We got some questions for some viewers about some players that they want to start. So we're gonna go over a couple, try to help you guys out this week. So first question is, this guy needs 3 players to start. Mm-hmm. He's got Wicks, he's got Slayton, he's got Deontay Johnson, he's got Trey Sermon, and he's got ETN.
Not starting ETN.
Definitely not starting ETN.
Sermon, Deontay. What are the other ones?
Wicks, Slayton, and ETN.
Wicks.
I'm starting Slayton.
I feel like I would like to say Slayton. Yeah, you know what? Let's go crazy. Slayton, Deontay, and Sermon.
And the only reason why I would want to start Slayton is because what Daniel Jones has shown me over the past few games is if he has 2 targets, he's going to pepper those 2 targets. So if it's Wandale and Neighbors, both of those guys are going to get 10 plus targets apiece. If it's Slayton and Wandale, both of those guys are going to get 10 targets apiece. So follow the targets always. That's my slogan. Follow the targets. If Daniel Jones is throwing 10 targets to Slayton, that's the guy I want to start.
Yeah, you ain't lying. What's the next question? Because that was...
That's tough.
That's a tough one.
Okay, so this guy says, should I drop Rashad White? I want to pick up Sermon this week. I have Ty Chandler, Kareem Hunt, Dowdle, Brees Hall, and Rashad White hasn't done anything for me. I'm 1-4 and need to win this week.
I wouldn't drop Rashad White. Yeah, he's disappointed you, but I'm that's too drastic now at this point. You never know what could happen this week. You know, what if Bucky goes out there and he gets hurt, and then Rashad
Right.
gets all the work? I have a hard time kicking away somebody like that for somebody else. So I would not.
I'd cut Chandler.
Yeah, I would cut Chandler. I
Well,
would cut because we don't
know,
know for sure.
they're on bye.
Sure. Yeah,
Right. They're on bye. So they're on bye. Maybe you can sneak him off the waiver wire. Like you can let him go, and then get him back. But if Aaron Jones is out next week, then you've got a guy who's in a good offense right now that's performing as the running back. So yeah, if you want to try to be sneaky, you can. But me, if I see you drop Ty Chandler, I'm all eyes on that or whatever, and I'm gonna keep my eyes on him. So
But Jason, would you cut him or Rico Dodwell? And Rico's the number one right now in Dallas.
Yeah, but the number one in Dallas is no better than you or me at this point, man. It really just isn't. Like, I mean, you have a guy who's going to be starting, but I don't want to fucking play Rico Dowdle. My God, I don't want to play him at all, ever. Against in any matchup. This offense for Dallas is essentially what it was last season. Dak throws to CeeDee. That's it. That is fucking it. That is literally it, man. There's no running back in this offense anymore, man. So having the starter in Dallas is just as good as like anything, and it's not really much at this point.
So then maybe he cuts Dowdle and picks up whoever he needs to pick up.
Maybe.
What's the next question?
I feel like this one is kind of an easy one based off of what we talked about earlier. But this guy's saying, should I start Rashid Shaheed or DJ Moore in standard? I messed up and played Ayuk and have Reed as my other wide receiver.
DJ Moore.
Yeah, definitely DJ Moore.
Yeah, DJ Moore's the top 10 play this week in any format.
And also, stop playing in standard leagues.
Thank you.
Like standard leagues are for nerds. Stop playing in standard leagues. Yeah, I think that's all I have this week for Q&A. Great session. We need to do this more. So now another favorite part of our show is call your shot. So we're going to explain to Jason what call your shot is. Call your shot is where you pick a player that's going to play either in tomorrow or the Monday night game. You're going to give us their stats, and we're going to see how close you come to predicting this player's stats. So without further ado, let's get the intro to that one.
Call your shot.
All right. So I'm going to let you go first, Ariel. Who's your shot this week?
I feel like it's too easy, but I'm gonna go Tank Dell.
Mm-hmm.
Tank Dell from 130, 6 catches, and a touchdown.
I don't think Young Christ is gonna like that one. I don't think Young Christ is gonna like that one. You straight stole his shot.
It's hard. Like Jason said earlier, there's so many injuries. It's so hard right now to like really. So I'm like last week, I went. What's his name? Diggs. I'm like, I might as well stay in the same game. Tank Dell because Nico's out. So it's like, I'm thinking. I really can't pop anyone in my head that's really worth calling a shot. I would use Shakir, but I can't trust Shakir right now because he's still hurt.
Yeah, and then the other thing too that I think is going to be good with Tank is I feel like Christian Gonzalez is going to be all over Stephon Diggs and follow him around. And I'll take Tank in the slot against everybody else. The Patriots secondary is very good, but Tank they're going to move him around, and I just have to feel like he's their explosive play guy now that Nico's out. So I think Diggs is going to get a lot of Gonzalez. Diggs will get his. It's not like Gonzalez is going to shut him out, but yeah, it's got to be Tank this week. It's got to be.
That's why I said Schultz earlier. I think Schultz will
That's a
eat
good one.
that middle up.
That's a good one.
Just like Kittle did 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
My shot is Lad McConkey. 6 catches, 82 yards, and a TD.
Oh, I love
like
me
it.
some. Damn it.
I like it. Nobody else is dead. I mean, it's not Quentin Johnson. It's nobody else on that team that's getting the ball, man. It's got to be Lad. They're gonna throw the ball. Oh, the Chargers have put Gus Edwards on IR. Vidal needs to be right now run to go get Vidal right now.
Yeah. Get Vidal immediately. So, Jason, who do you have as your shot this week?
Justin Fields is going to be a top 5 quarterback this week against the Las Vegas Raiders. I've got him for 210 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, a rushing touchdown, and 65 rushing yards. It's too good of a matchup. The Raiders are broken right now, and I think Justin is feeling the idea of Russell Wilson being around, and I think he's going to make sure that he keeps him at bay. So I got Justin Fields as a top 5 quarterback this week. Must start, in my opinion.
Nice. I like it. Now let's see what our boy, friend of the show, Young Christ. Let's see what he has.
Yeah, word on my mom's fitted brim. It's your boy Young Christ the Jesus, aka Scotty Pimpin, aka Mentos the Fresh Maker, aka Riz Marquis, and I'm calling my shot. You heard? Tomorrow, my son Tank Dell is gonna have a breakout game. Word to mother, son. I feel it in my Timbs. Son is gonna put up 7 catches for 113 yards and a TD. I can see a couple long bombs from Stride to Tank, with the Patriots defense being able to say they've joined the Mile High Club after getting fucked through the air. But don't mind me, I just be talking shit, you heard?
Yo, what on earth? What on earth?
Oh my god! Oh, that was wonderful.
That's perfect.
Every week.
I've never been more confident in Tank Dell.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. Hey, that was our Call Your Shot segment. That was our Call Your Shot segment.
This one's gonna be your favorite part of the show.
Now we're gonna get into everybody's favorite part of the show, when my cat picks the kicker of the week. So, without further ado, take it away, Garfield.
And now, Garfield's Kicker of the Week.
Kyle just woke me from a beautiful nap where I was being fed endless lasagna. So I guess I'll give you guys my kicker of the week. In a game where I can see a bunch of field goals being kicked, give me Greg Zuerlein. Zuerlein. Sounds like Italian. Now I'm hungry.
And that was Garfield's Kicker of the Week.
Dude, these fucking segments are fucking hilarious. Oh my god, man. Wow.
Oh,
Man.
God.
I love it.
All right. So, last segment of the day. Huh?
Zuerlein play for the Jets?
Yes.
Yeah.
Greg the Leg.
Greg the Leg.
Legatron.
But before Baltimore stole the Legatron name for Justin Tucker, it was Greg's name, Legatron.
I think that's gonna be a good one between him and Tyler Bass.
Yes. I you know what? I honestly hope that does turn into a damn kicker fest. Somebody needs to do something. Somebody needs to do something this week. But this is the sleeper segment where we're gonna give you guys a couple sleeper plays. It's week 6, so don't expect a lot, because I'm pretty sure all your waiver wires have been picked over. So without further ado, let's get into these sleepers.
Sleeper plays of the week.
All right, so I'm going to keep banging this drum. I spoke his name earlier. I speak his name every week. I'm going to keep banging this drum until you guys get on board in your deeper leagues with Jalen Tolbert. He's only 32% roster in Yahoo leagues. you need to be picking him up, especially if you're in a league that has a lot of flex spots. Yeah, you definitely need to be picking this guy up. Or if you got a lot of injuries, what do you got to lose at this point?
I like it. I got one.
Okay.
And we've talked at length about the Texans and what Tank Dell is about to do.
Mm-hmm.
Xavier Hutchinson is a name to keep on your radar. He stepped in immediately when Nico went out, had himself a good little game. He's a good football player. He's just buried behind all these other very good football players. It's not his fault that he's not getting burned over Diggs and all these other guys. Xavier Hutchinson is somebody that I could see in a pinch in a PPR league. You could probably walk away with 11, 12 points. And if you find out on the waiver wire right now, you want to attach yourself to good offenses, Xavier Hutchinson is somebody who, if you are really, really stuck, I don't have too big of a problem starting.
He got burned over Bobby Trees and Mechie?
He did.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
I got another one. We spoke about this guy earlier. Jalen Polk. He's 8% owned in Yahoo leagues. What at this point in the game, what you got to lose? He may go out there and get you 5 or 6 catches, 50, 60 yards. Might not score, but hey, 12 points in a PPR league, in a deep PPR league, it's not bad. Not bad.
Let me see. I can come up with somebody, I think.
You said it earlier, Vidal.
Yeah, no, I got somebody else too. I think I could throw out there. Yeah, James Cook's gonna play, but Ty Johnson, in Buffalo, deserves at least a look. Just this week. I mean, regardless of whether Cook plays or not, it sounds like he will. How much will he play? And Ty was already getting burned when Cook was there. He's the pass catching back. Again, PPR league, you can probably do worse than Ty Johnson. The only issue is you have to wait till Monday night. So if you're deciding between him and Sunday, it's a little bit more difficult. But I don't have too much of an issue playing Ty Johnson if you're in a super pinch like I am in one league.
Right. And Xavier Hutchinson, only 3% roster.
It absolutely makes no sense, especially given the war of attrition at the position right now. I mean, this week you've got, let's see, who are some of the guys off? So you've got all the Kansas City off. So no Worthy, nobody like that. No Justin Jefferson with Minnesota. There's got to be a way, especially if you have a bunch of flex spots to be able to smash Xavier Hutchinson into your roster.
Right. You got one, Ariel?
No.
I got another one.
You guys
Jason spoke on this earlier. Well, actually, you and Jason both spoke on this earlier. AD Mitchell, he's only 9% rostered.
But I said that last week too, and I'm not gonna keep harping on something that's a given already.
Well, it just you might not be wrong. You just might be early.
Yeah. Because didn't we argue this? Wasn't we arguing this before, me and you, Jason?
Yeah, well, in the chat because I was looking at the separation, and when I was watching the film, I'm watching a guy who's getting himself open time after time. He's just not getting the football. And does that, like, him not getting the football mean that he's not doing his job? No, and it's hard to predict a breakout, but when a guy's separating, that's the easiest way. And that's what I was seeing over and over. And I think, again, if Pittman doesn't play, which I don't understand why he's even trying to play if this injury is that serious, then yeah, I think it's 100% a good shot.
How are we feeling about Amir Abdullah as a sleeper
for the Raider game?
Yeah,
it's
because I honestly feel like he is probably the best running back in Las Vegas.
It's tough because
if that's sad.
It's tough because if that offense goes to shit when O'Connell's there, then everybody suffers, right? Like he's not game script proof. right? Like,
Right.
I guess you could say, yeah, he's gonna get you a baseline of a certain amount of points in PPR. That's fine. But yeah, I'd rather. Oh, Brian Robinson's out. Here's your sleeper. Austin Eckler's got to play this entire game. Austin Eckler the entire game. Austin Eckler all day. Throwback Austin Eckler game today. This week.
Yeah, and under that, McNichols.
Yep.
Yeah, because I could see McNichols getting a couple goal line carries. So, yeah,
That's what just came in, right? Because I got the same thing, but I wasn't going to read it. Oh, man.
Yeah, just came in.
Damn it.
Nice. Hey, this was a very, very good show. Jason, you are welcome to come back anytime you want. You're adding a lot to the show with your knowledge.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I love it. Once again, Mr. Jason Aponte, please follow him. What's your socials? What's your socials?
Yeah, on Twitter, Jason Aponte 2103. On YouTube, Jason Aponte. On Instagram, J Aponte 2103. Yeah, that's primarily where you'll find me. And every day on Niners Nation, new article up, so you can always check out. I'm writing something almost every day there.
Okay, that's what's up. And follow him on YouTube.
Appreciate that.
He's one of the better 49er beat writers, and he's one of the better podcasters on YouTube. So definitely, you're always going to get no fluff, no bullshit, straight drop. That's what you're going to get. So
some spiciness.
Yeah. Go to his YouTube channel, check him out every day. I love it. So with that being said, Fantasy Football Avengers, we are out. We will see you guys again next week to wrap up week 6. Everybody, peace.
Thank you for watching the Fantasy Football Avengers podcast. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on social media. Links in the description.